about this collaborative effort, right?
I've obviously been a positive influence.
We're on the air, guys. Yep. Okay. And these microphones pick up on the air.
So Wes, give it to you.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. I will call the meeting to order this evening, and we've got everyone just chattering away today. So, well, would all of you like to join us in the Pledge Allegiance to the flag? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mary, roll call.
Wilson.
Here.
Collins.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Kellum.
Here.
Kupczynski.
Here.
Coburn.
Here.
Knopa.
Here. Okay, and first on the agenda is a special presentation, and this is for the GFOA Awards, which is the Government Finance Officers Association, and we have a representative this evening from the association, and it's our Lynn County Treasurer, Michelle Hawkins. So, Michelle, would you like to come forward?
Thank you. I don't plan on sitting down, so I'm just going to point this up a little bit.
That's fine. Yeah.
But thank you for having me tonight. I kind of think it's an honor to be here on behalf of the OMFOA, which is the Oregon Municipal Finance Officers Association. I'm actually the past president and then now the GFOA rep. And so I got a couple of years of doing the representative for the state of Oregon. So I am here to present to you tonight 2 awards. And the very first award is your CAFR Award, which is your Certificate of Achievement for your excellence in financial reporting. And this actually is going to go to Michael Brzezinski. And this is your 29th year for receiving this award. I actually think it's an honor when you do finally get through all of the curriculum to even build the report and then to continue to do it over the course of years, knowing that this probably has been through a lot of different people, not you for 29 years, but for someone else who started that process, but that the city would think that it was that important to keep doing it and continue. So it is with my honor to present to you. Your plaque is in the mail. So tonight we kind of put together something that we would at least have to hand to Michael. So do you want to say anything about doing it?
I want to thank the council for letting us continue doing this. John started it. I've carried it on. John did it for 25 years. I've done it for 4 years, going on 5. So thank you very much.
Done a wonderful job.
Now the second one, here was my dilemma with the second one. The second one is a popular annual financial reporting. It's a way and a means of how you report your financial package, your budget, and also your CAFR reporting. And I know that GFOA started this, it's a brand new program with GFOA. And so I didn't have any verbiage on it or anything, so I had to do my homework on this one to find out, Anne, what are you up to? Because I knew over the course of the last couple of years, she's been talking about wanting to go for it, and she actually achieved it for the city of Albany. But you should be honored, because for the state of Oregon, you guys are the #2 to ever receive this award for cities. I believe we talked about it, and there's one other county that has this, but none others. So this is kind of a brand new program, and you should be pretty honored to be one of the first ones to receive it, but also knowing that with that, there's a lot more work to get it your first year. So once you get it and you know what you're up against the following years, it's easier to kind of follow that suit and continue to get it. But I'm commending Anne, because this was a lot of work her first year to get that for the city of Albany. So,
Oh, that's wonderful.
yeah, awesome. Thank you. Good job.
Well, I've only been working for the city for 3.5 years, but I really enjoy the environment, and I have a boss that encourages things like this, which I enjoy doing. So I'm glad I'm here, and I plan on staying a long time.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for having me and letting me
thank you
present
so
the
much,
awards. So
Michelle.
it was an honor.
Yep, thank you so much. Great job, staff. So no, we are really fortunate in Albany. We have just a wonderful staff, wonderful finance department. I know that's not an easy job, so, but yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Okay, scheduled business. First is accepting Oscar Halt's resignation from the Arts Commission. And I'll entertain a motion.
We'll move we accept Oscar's resignation.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carried. Next is business from the public. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to bring an item forward? Okay, all right, not seeing anyone. And next is adoption of the consent calendar, very, very small one with one item.
I'll make a motion for adoption of the consent calendar.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we already went through our scheduled business. This is kind of a unique evening to have a very short agenda like this, so so next is business from the council. And Bessie, anything this evening?
Nothing. Oh,
Okay.
I will say that I appreciate staff and all the volunteers for how they worked up and made the Air and Art Festival a success. It was great, again.
They did an outstanding job and just wonderful comments on it. But yeah, thank you. Bill, anything?
Yeah, just one thing. I was out of town last Monday for Wes for your performance review meeting, but I mentioned to Dick, one of the things I read on Dick's comments was maybe to go back to mailing out the city bridges, and is that something maybe we can get some more information on in terms of cost, or has it already been discussed and I missed it, or?
I think the short answer is no. I don't think we really have discussed it much recently. I think Marilyn may have given us a rough estimate of what it cost when we had some brief discussion on it. We have made some changes. We just recently expanded the email or the electronic distribution list, and I believe this last week, was it yesterday?
Yesterday.
24,000.
26,000.
Folks received an electronic copy. What we did is we used all the email, we sort of harvested all the local email addresses from various city functions that we have over the years, and so we sent that out. So we will be getting a much broader, do you know the numbers, Marilyn, that we were distributing to prior to yesterday's?
274.
And that was from people who had requested.
Had subscribed, yeah.
Right, so we went from 270 to 26,000. So we should see some benefit from that.
About 16,000 have received it so far. It's going out in 5,000 email address chunks for this first time in order to make sure that it's not triggering spam filters. So far we've had, I think, a total of 28 out of that 15-some thousand that have been marked as spam. We've had about 300 people unsubscribe, and we have a way of tracking why they're doing that. They can leave comments. Most of them are people who don't live here any longer, and they're not interested. But we've had, for the first time since we've done this online, we've been generating comments from the public. We got several of those in today. A couple prompted by Wes's column, and some questions about some of the stories that were in there. So that's kind of feedback that I'm thrilled to see. We've been, our rate of people actually opening the document and reading it is about, I'm going to have to get back to you on that. It's about 26%, I think, and that's right at the industry average. We're tracking all the data associated with it, but this was something we've been wanting to do for a long time, to try to reach more people online, and but we haven't discussed the paper version either, about whether or not we'll bring that back. It's certainly a discussion we can have.
Okay.
I don't suppose you can track where the responses come from?
Yes, we can.
Geographically?
It's in there somewhere. It's in the metadata somewhere.
That's something I would like to know newspaper-wise, and it'd be interesting to know that for the email, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's My theory is that there is a geographic distribution as to how people are informed in our town, people that know the truth.
Okay, Bill, that was it?
That was it. Thanks.
Okay, Dick, anything?
Yes, I had a chance to ride in one of our city vehicles a week ago, last Thursday. And, the attendants were careful and helpful and courteous, kind, brave, clean, obedient, everything else in good stuff.
Brave. Clean and reverent.
Well, I wasn't too clean, so I had been working on my roof, so.
But they were. But you had clean under.
I appreciated the tender care.
Wonderful job. Okay, all right, okay, Rich, anything? Okay, Ray?
I'm good.
Okay, Floyd?
Well, thank you.
All right, and I didn't either, and Wes?
Yeah, I do have an item that's come up. It was actually raised by some citizens. The question of what kind of a process is the city planning to use to get out information regarding the bond measure election that's coming up in November. And we'd had some brief discussions about having open houses at both the police and fire stations so that the public would have an opportunity to come in and see, what the current facilities look like and make some judgments on their own. I mean, typically, I think we're pretty open about, if somebody were to drop by the fire station, my sense is that the firefighters are usually eager and willing. It's a little more of an issue for the police department. They have to obviously control access. But we discussed it at staff and agreed that that would be a good plan and a good way for the public to find out what's happening in both places. So we'll schedule some open houses, based on the availability of sort of the convenience to both the public and to our departments as one strategy for getting information out. Recognizing, of course, that we can't use public resources to advocate, so we won't be, we might hand out like an information sheet about the facilities, but we certainly won't be asking people to vote one way or another for the November session. We as staff had not come up with any plan in particular about, having a town hall meeting on the subject. We are always open to questions, and I think that's true for both chiefs. It's certainly true for myself and Stuart, and we're willing to meet with citizens if they want to come in and talk about it. So there's that avenue that we have. We have public meetings, of course, every couple of weeks in the form of city council meetings, and it would be, if the council would like, we could designate a portion of a city council meeting, for example, to have a discussion of the bond measure and what it means, and be able to perhaps have some questions from the public on that subject if that's what you'd like to do. But beyond that, we had not really strategized about any formal process. So I guess we would just like to hear from the council as to your pleasure on whether you want a special meeting, whether you'd like to do it as part of a regular meeting or something else.
Yeah, when we went out for the library bond, we did do that. We had kind of like an open house and let people go back and see, the staff's work area, because it was just desk to desk, in the old library. And so I think it'd be really good to, at least have that opportunity for people if they wanted to have a tour and be able to do both facilities, or even do up pictures, and maybe some pictures of the workspaces and stuff, and have that a part of some informational material that could go out and let people be able to see, what some of the, issues are with the current police station and also with the fire station. Some of the structural issues with it too. So I think it'd be a good idea. What does the council think?
If I could suggest, and I'm not sure if this is any different than what Wes is suggesting, but if you chose to hold some particularly advertised open houses at either of the facilities, I would strongly encourage a city councilor or councilors to be the proctors, the monitors, and the champions
exactly my question.
for showing the public, because you are unrestrained about what you can say. You can say, we need this and this is why. You can beat the drum as much as you want, whereas staff has to be substantially more circumspect. Staff can answer strictly factual questions, but sometimes, like, when did you stop beating your wife questions, can become difficult. And if we had a counselor who could run interference for staff, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, I think we can work that out, too. So we'll just need to plan on scheduling something, what would be a good time and kind of the logistics to it.
Yeah, I think I'll leave the planning of the dates up to the two chiefs, because they know better than I do what their schedules would be, but I would think maybe on a Saturday. I see the
police department on Saturday.
I see them smiling and nodding back there. Maybe Friday night of a full moon or something.
I think it'd be good.
Tell a story.
Probably about in October, when it's kind of fresh around ballot time. But, yeah, I think that would work. Floyd?
A couple of citizens have approached me and indicated they'd be willing to volunteer. Members have been in the community for a long time and kind of know the history of both departments. And I told them I thought that'd be very valuable to have the citizen participation. So I think we need to look to try to engage those folks. I just think it would be much better than having staff being out just factual with potential questions, and or us as the counselors leading that conversation also.
I wonder if any of the former department directors who are no longer encumbered might be willing to participate. I don't know. I would guess that Ed Boyd is still around and that he could be a pretty good spokesperson for the concerns, and since he's not on the payroll.
Daryl Teddish.
Pardon me?
He has volunteered to
Right,
do
and
that.
Daryl Teddish, again, while he does some contract work, I don't think he would be have the same ethical concern the staff would, because there obviously wouldn't be any public money being spent for his participation. So those are people who are uniquely knowledgeable about the facilities and would not create the
Jim, is the Public Safety Commission members constrained as staff?
If the Public Safety Commission members are, they are more constrained than you are, because they're appointed, they're not elected, but they are not paid, so I think they would be free as citizens. I think they should declare that they are participating as citizens, not participating as, I mean, they can say that I am a citizen who serves on the Public Safety Commission. So they can identify the basis for their knowledge, but it must be clear that they are not speaking on behalf of the commission.
Right, okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Any other comments on that?
Is there any desire to designate a portion of a upcoming council meeting for?
What about having, well, we could have a work session at the fire hall? I mean, we could at the same time, because without the trucks in the bay, there would be a lot of room for people to come and go. And it would be another reason for people to show up.
I can do that on the first floor. I can't do it.
Right. I mean, just thought.
Yeah, we'll get something figured out, yeah.
Would we want to do it as a work session, or, I mean, that's at like 4 o'clock when people are working, or would we want to do it on a different night?
Or just a different time?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think the only issues we run into perhaps at the fire station, if we were using the bays, for example, we might have some trouble in accommodating the public and recording equipment and all that stuff that goes with a public meeting. But again, that's kind of up to the council's choice.
Well, there's not a legal, help me out, Mary, but I don't believe there's a legal requirement for recording. You simply have to take minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think that could legally be accommodated.
Well, we then, based on the suggestions, we'll come back with a proposal to you on a schedule of both the open house events and at least one public meeting where people would have a chance to come.
And I have a matter I need to address.
What about using a closed circuit, just showing videos of existing facilities?
We can do that, and we'd actually talked about that today at staff.
Something we talked about at staff meeting today was possibly videotaping or video recording the open house or tours of the building that we could then post on the website for information purposes. And we could do the recording of the council meeting held at that location or the building tours or both, whatever you'd like.
And put it on Channel 28.
Yeah.
I have some concerns about that. If you have counselors or if you have former department directors strongly advocating in your presentation, and then you put that on the website, my fear is that public resources have then been used to advocate for a position. So we'd have to be cautious to make sure that what was being put on the website was not advocacy.
No, that's really all I need. Oh, other than just to say that I will be out of town beginning tomorrow afternoon through...
Through when the search party finds you.
I'm going hiking with my son. We have an ambitious schedule. And
20 miles a day.
Oh, wow. Pacific Crest Trail or something?
Yeah, we're just hiking from Odell Lake to Crater Lake, so, or at least we're proposing to do that. So,
wow, that'll be fun.
but Stuart has promised to be here, so.
I'm making book on how far they get.
Wow, 20 miles a day.
I'm taking the under.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
Okay, Jim?
On your, at the dais, you have an ordinance, which is a cleanup ordinance to correct a mistake that Comcast had actually made in the draft of their franchise that they provided. There were two inconsistent dates by which Comcast was going to get their copy signed. One said 30 days, the other said 60 days. Comcast needs 60 days to get the franchise signed by their powers that be. So the ordinance tonight, which we would appreciate your adopting, simply changes the effective date of the ordinance to extend it out 60 days to give Comcast time to sign.
Okay, questions? If not, a motion?
Move we adopt the ordinance as written?
Second.
No, we need to read the
You're
ordinance.
going to have to read it. Yeah.
This is an ordinance amending Chapter 3.26 of the Albany Municipal Code, which grants a non-exclusive cable subscriber television system franchise to Comcast of Oregon 2, Inc., an Oregon corporation, and declaring an emergency.
I'll make a motion the ordinance be read a second time in title only.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, second
And
reading.
Ordinance amending Chapter 3.26 of the Albany Municipal Code, which grants a non-exclusive cable subscriber television system franchise to Comcast of Oregon 2, Inc., an Oregon corporation, and declaring an emergency.
Make a motion for adoption of the ordinance.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay.
Thank you.
Carried. Is that it?
That's it.
And anything else? Staff have anything else? Okay. With that, we will recess to executive session to discuss real property negotiations in accordance with ORS 192.6602E. Okay?
You might add that it
Thank you,
doesn't,
folks.
I don't think we'll be coming out of executive session to make any